What if you could journey beyond the physical, where imagination becomes tangible and surrender is the key? In this episode, I'm diving into the realm of astral travel with Yogi Gabriel, founder of Aura Mats, where Ayurvedic textiles meet energy alignment, and two inspiring seekers, Crystal, a devoted therapist and caregiver, and Eldon, a newly retired law enforcement officer turned therapist. Together, we're embarking on a 50-day journey, 10 days of preparation, followed by 40 days of dedicated sadhana to discover, can we truly step outside ourselves? I'm curious, and maybe you are too, whether we can create, manifest, and explore realms that feel as real as our waking life. Let's find out together. Astral travel. I love this idea. I imagine myself actually going to far off places, not just in my imagination, but using all my senses. Because I've always wanted to teleport my whole life, especially when I'm going through the hassle of getting on an airplane. To just spontaneously arrive wherever I want sounds really, really cool. Now, I also believe that this is the place where inventors such as Tesla and Einstein were able to tap into this higher consciousness and bring us these incredible things that we have today. So the next 50 days, I'm going to go on this experience with Yogi Gabriel and using his Aura Mat, which apparently is like a magic carpet ride. And along with my friends Crystal and Eldon, we're going to experience this for the next 50 days. And we want you to follow along to see what happens. We're going to meet Yogi Gabriel, owner of auramat.com, where Ayurvedic yoga mats meet energy alignment. And he's also the founder of Aura Academy, where we'll learn to soar on our own magic carpet. Let's go find out how he discovered Ayurvedic mats and why they matter and what journey he's going to be taking us on to discover astral travel. Tell us about astral travel, astral projection.
Sure. And as I started astral projecting in the middle of the night, I would go places and it's very vivid. It's consciousness. It's not like a dream. It's very.
That's what I was wondering too.
Yeah.
I was like, is this just what I would normally consider a dream, or is it more of a sensory experience?
And I would say from my experience, there's different levels of that. Some of those visions will feel like dreams.
Okay.
But they're real. There's things going on.
Okay.
So astral travel and this whole progression of what we're doing is basically bringing us back to our highest self, our conscious awareness. And when you're able to be in that awareness, you're able to see what the mind does. We're separate of the mind. The mind is physical. It stays here when we leave.
Yeah.
And it's programmed. There's the unconscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the conscious mind.
Yeah.
Right now, you and I are talking from the conscious mind.
Yeah.
The unconscious mind is where the primal programming is. That's where all the safety mechanism is.
Okay.
Right? Unconscious mind is where that's kept. Subconscious mind is where programming that we have as human beings is stored. So
Okay.
when you see a red ball, it's going to the subconscious mind saying, what is that? 3 seconds before your frontal lobe says, oh, consciously that's a red ball.
Okay.
There's a lot of background stuff going on.
Yeah.
So when you can be more in tune with the spirit and less controlled by the mind is when these things come forth. Wow. What is an aura, right? Most of us
I think that would be a really great place to start.
Yeah, and most of us don't know what an aura is, but you and I can do a demonstration right here on camera. If you just open up your hand chakras, we're not going to actually touch hands. We're just going to make a circuit, right? And you may feel that we just made the connection. And now I'm going to push from my right palm towards you, and you can feel that.
I can.
Okay, so we're connected.
I'm not making that up.
No, we're connected. And
Wow.
I could demonstrate to you that you could close your eyes and do that, and I could back up to certain distances. You're still feeling that connection, but I could be
Right.
75 feet away from you.
I know, when you feel that presence of someone in the room, but you haven't made eye contact yet, is that kind of what you're talking about?
Well, even the intuition. So the aura is doing a lot of things for us, right? That the auric field, if it's healthy, it should be 24 by 27. It's not just front to back, left to right. It's also the king dome or queen dome for the ladies.
Yeah.
And what happens with the synthetics or anything that's not natural, there's a math, there's a coding to everything here on this planet, And the human DNA, the human aura also has a coding to that. The mathematics flows properly if it's natural, but anything synthetic has a different mathematics to it, right? It didn't come from nature. And so the flow of the energy is hindered, whether it's resistance or the math stops and has to restart and stop and restart. The full potential of our expansion as humans, which we should also mention what a human is being hindered by synthetics, whether it's food, whether it's synthetic thoughts, even, right? Or TV shows or clothing or anything. It literally affects the aura, which is what we showed yesterday.
It's just a very short synopsis. What are we to expect?
Transformation. Yeah.
Next, we have Crystal, an incredibly giving therapist and caregiver who is now making a bold commitment, 10% of her precious time to herself. Tell me about your life. Does it feel like to me, I'm listening to what you're doing, and that seems like a lot. It seems like a very, very full plate. Does it ever feel like that?
Yes, it feels heavy and exhausting all the time.
So I'm curious, because you're adding more to your plate in terms of time. Why are you choosing to carve out another 10% of your time in order to do this? Because that's what Gabriel has suggested. 10% of our day. Honestly, it overwhelms the heck out of me. Does it you?
It feels like a huge commitment.
Yeah. Well, why are you doing it? What's on the other side?
I'm hoping for balance, for more mindfulness. I've seen a variety of healers over the last couple of years, and I very much realize I live in trauma response, and I live in anxiety, and I live in future planning, and I really just want to get back into the present moment and be more mindful and show up better for everyone in my life.
So if you wave a magic wand on the other side of this 50 days, what does that feel like for you?
Peace.
Peace.
Joy.
Joy. I like those too.
Trust.
Yeah.
Trust that I'm just following the right breadcrumbs.
Yeah. I can see it gets you emotional. What does it bring up with you right now?
I think I have a lot of self-doubt and I second guess my decisions, but over the last of the few years, I've really just said yes to a lot of scary things. Italy and just some other classes, and it's all paid off. So this felt like a yes, and so I said yes.
And now Eldon. After retiring from law enforcement, he's stepping into the world of therapy. Why is he dedicating himself now to this journey of inner exploration? Let's ask him.
And knowing I was getting close to the end of my career, I decided that I wanted to get into mental health and to focus more specifically on trauma for vets and first responders. And so going through my schooling, which I actually just graduated in August, but I had to do my practicum, and I ended up doing it at a Native American inpatient treatment program. And so it was through that program that I was able to be introduced more into the more spiritual side of things on the Native American side, and was able to participate in a few sweat lodges and whatnot. And so that got me kind of more interested in the more spiritual side of things. And what got me interested specifically in this is I know in mental health, we need to first heal ourselves before we are able to help others. And I have a lot of stuff that I haven't dealt with. And I realized also, when in the academy, they teach us, or they train us to suppress our emotions, just focus on what we're doing, and get the job done, resolve the situation. What they don't teach us is how to then go back and revisit that and do our healing ourselves.
Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to outfit you with one of the tools for this practice, which we're calling it the magic carpet. It quite literally expands your aura by 4 to 5 times, but to figure out which yoga mat would be best for you, which textile, Ayurveda textile, we want to know what your doshas are. So one of the ways that we do that is, this is the Fibonacci sequence, it's math. And so is the circumference of your wrist. There's not a lot of muscle or fat around this portion of the wrist. So if you take your thumb and index finger and wrap it around your wrist, you should see that, so for you, there's a gap there, and for you, there's a gap there as well. For me, you can see that it's touching. The gap indicates Kapha is the primary dosha, Pitta for me, and if it's Vata, then it would be an overlap. So Kapha is your primary dosha. Second to that, we all have the DNA. I can read your face. So Vata will have a very sharp face, a V. The lips and the nose for Vata will be very thin. And eyes are kind of different. You have to look at the eye pictures to learn to read them. But also then the cheeks for Pitta will be more of a kind of an athletic cut, more like what you have. And for Kapha will be a little bit more rounded, a little more earth and water, right? The lips for Pitta will be medium, nose will be medium, Kapha will be thick, right? So I can look at you and see that Pitta is your secondary dosha. So you're a Kapha Pitta would be your constitution. Now that's Prakruti, when you were born. And then for you, I see also Pitta. I see she has Kapha eyes, very clearly Kapha eyes, but also the Pitta frame, Pitta lips, Pitta nose, and then Kapha eyes. So you're Kapha Pitta and you're also Kapha Pitta. These are actually unique combinations. I don't run into them all the time. And when, and it's no mistakes, right? And so for the mat for you, the way that this works, it's a campfire story. Kapha is earth and water, that is the log for the campfire. Pitta is the fire, Vata is the air. You both are predominantly Kapha, and if we look at the way the campfire works, if we threw more logs on the fire, what happens is it smokes. That smoke in Ayurveda is said to go through the channels of the body and ends up becoming dis-ease. So for you, we want to stoke the fire. But my logical mind doesn't know whether I want to give you air, which will stoke the fire, or just more fire element in order to keep that balance, right? And so if it was Pitta, if that's what you need, and I give you Vata, I'm going to overstoke the fire, right? It's just going to accelerate it. So we want to find that balance. And the way that we do that with Kapha, predominant individuals, is we muscle test. So I'll grab the mats, I will put them basically into your auric field. You are a human pendulum. And so if this is what your higher conscious says is best for you, you will lean forward as it will take you forward in life. Okay. If not, you lean backwards as it will take you backwards in life. The other is left to right, which we really don't see. These are typically higher levels of readings, but this is a yes-no, very simple reading. So I'll go ahead and grab the mats, and then we'll have one of you turn around, and you won't know which mat it is. I'm just going to put it in your aura, and we'll ask your higher conscious. Okay. Okay.
Perfect.
So we'll start with Crystal, and you're just going to put your hands at your side. Anytime that you touch your hands, you actually are creating a circuit. So we'll start with you. You're just going to relax, totally relax. And just maybe shake your hands out for a second. Let's just take a breath in together. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale completely. Exhale completely. Okay, so I'm going to put the first one in your aura. I'm not going to tell you which one it is. I'm just going to give you a number. This is number 1. And that's pulling you backwards. Do you feel that slight tug backwards? This is number 2. And that's a forward, a very distinct forward. And this is number 3. Which is also, pulling you backwards. So for you, it's the Vata mat, which makes a lot of sense to me. This is the one that's going to give you more energy for the movement, right? Which will give you more fire also. So this is going to get you moving. It's going to get the energy moving. And also very etherical. This is Vata, which is air and ether. So for the astral travel, it's the perfect mat for this. Yeah, thank you. I'm going to use this one for him too, but this can be yours. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing for you. You're just going to go into neutral. I feel like you're already in a neutral state, so I'm not going to have you breathe. But I'm going to put the first one in your aura. This is number 1. And that is a slight, do you feel that slight tug forward?
Yeah.
Okay, it's very, very light, but I also see it and feel it. This is number 2, which is a no, clearly. And this is number 3. which is also a no. Yep. So for you, it's also the Vata mat. And it makes sense to me for the same reason that it makes sense for her. Yeah.
Do you want to muscle test me while?
Sure, let's do it. Let's do it. So let's see your wrist. Oh, you did this already today. No, you're almost touching. So let's muscle test.
Yep.
Okay, so just hands at your side. Yeah, and then this is number 1, which is a clear no. This is number 2, which I think is a yes and you fought. And this is number 3, which is a clear no as well. Yeah. So for you, it's the kapha mat. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, very good.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna measure your aura. Okay. These are dowsing rods, and you have an auric field that's coming off of you all the time. And so what these do is they pick up on your energy field. Now, I can't manipulate this unless I'm touching the bottom, right? So as long as I'm touching the top, it's free floating. So that is what I do. And when I point those at you, it's your energy that just pushed them sideways. Okay, and you can see they're going left and right very subtly. That is the energy body going positive, negative, positive, negative. And so as I back up, they're going to get weaker and weaker. And when they come to a straight forward position is when I end the test, because that is about where the aura ends. Now your aura subtly goes beyond that, but the tool only picks up to this point. So your aura, if I pace it out, is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, we'll call it 17 feet. So now if you stand on the mat, what we should expect is 4 to 5 times that, which is going to be close to 100, maybe even more, okay? So there you are, and you can see that now the dowsing rods are at completely 90 degrees, which is the expansion in your aura. Three, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. So 93 feet.
Wow.
So almost to the T 5 times, right?
Yeah.
It's sacred math. Okay. Yeah. That expansion is what allows us to access some of these things that are suppressed.
Okay.
Yeah. You have a really good aura, actually. Three, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36. We'll call it 37 feet. Healthy aura is 27, so you're doing really well. Your practices are showing up. So 37, we're going to be like 120 feet. I'm going to be, I'm going to run out of room essentially, but you'll know because it's usually 5 times. So here we go. You ready? And you see how you're pegged at 90 degrees? That's the expansion already in your aura. Three, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, 21, 24, 27. So 147. 147. Yeah.
Now that we've learned how to sit and align, Yogi Gabriel will guide us through movements using breath and Kundalini practices to open and harmonize our chakras, or energy centers in our body. By the end, these channels flow, leaving us grounded, aligned, and present.
Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to share with you, because meditation, one of the things that holds people back is not being able to sit in a position where they're comfortable and can relax, right? And we already did the muscle testing, so you know that if you're being pulled forward or pulled backward, that's an energy that's also tugging on us spiritually, right? So I don't see where teachers actually teach, they just say get an easy seated position, right? But they don't really tell you how to do that. We just assume you know. If you put your hands underneath your butt, there's 2 bones called the sit bones, okay? Those are the 2 bones that you want to basically balance on. You want to balance those 2 on your temple. When you're sitting in meditation like this, it's nice to put a cushion underneath you just to lift those up just a little bit. Most of the time, because the hips, we hold a lot of unresolved trauma. So in order to be fully open like this, we have to work through that stuff. Raising it up allows us a little more comfortable position when that hasn't been fully worked through. So yeah, that's the first thing, is the sit bones. Then next is stacking the vertebrae on each vertebrae one by one. So just coming into an alignment where you don't feel like you have to use your core muscles to pull yourself left, right, front to back is key, right? And so if you can just kind of close your eyes and get into that space, what'll happen, spiritual energy spirals. So when you finally come into that state of neutral, you'll start to feel yourself spiraling, right?
And now, as we gather at the vibrant Yin on Fire Festival, we're stepping into the foundation of our journey, where Yogi Gabriel will gently guide us through basic movements, some breathwork, mantras, and kriyas of the Kundalini practice we'll embrace. And this is where we'll begin, learning the steps we'll take each day as we devote 10% of our time to this transformative sadhana. Let's go find out what we're going to be experiencing together. All right. We're going to hold off on the experience for just a second, because you might feel like you're entering a college 201 class when you hear the wise words of Yogi Gabriel. I want you to start with 101 for just a second. We're going to go through a set of definitions so you know what is coming. The first is a sadhana. It's basically your daily spiritual practice, like a morning routine for your soul, where you might meditate, chant, or do some yoga. Then he's going to talk about a kriya, which is a specific set of movements and breathing exercises in yoga. It's kind of like a recipe for energy. Each one is designed to create a certain effect or cleanse. And then a mantra is a word or phrase you repeat to focus your mind. Think of it as a mental anchor or a positive affirmation that also carries a vibration to uplift you. All right, we're ready for 201.
So there's very powerful importance in the way these practices are done. We'll move into a 40-day sadhana. Those sadhanas basically look like we tune in, we do a mantra for protection. That mantra goes out into the field and does give us protection. It actually works. Then we will do some warm-up. So we'll just limber up the spine, we'll do some warm-up, and we do some pranayama, bring in some energy. You can go without eating, without drinking, but try going without breathing. It doesn't work very well. That is how the energy comes into the system. So we'll bring a bunch of energy into the system, and then we'll move it throughout the system with a kriya. Basically waking up those energy centers and opening up the channels throughout the body. Once that's all done, at the end of the kriya, we do what's called a shavasana. Shavasana is the ego death. So we'll lay down. Basically, this is your time to let go of everything you just moved. Right? We moved a bunch of energy. Hopefully we pulled up some shadow work. Let it go. Now it's time to let it go. We'll do that for about 11 minutes, and then when we come out of that, we go into a mantra. That mantra basically reattunes the body. You all have seen where they're vibrating sand at certain frequencies. The same thing happens with the water in the cells of our body when we chant mantras, so we're reattuning the body. We do this for 40 days, and after about 2 to 3 weeks, we begin to see the effects, feel the effects. And the end result should be that we have a greater awareness of our spirit body within us, which is the source energy, and then also calming of the mind because of the polarities of positive mind, negative mind. Rather than bouncing back and forth, we come into a balanced state with these practices.
All right, we're getting together. We're going to discover what this 50 days of commitment has done for each one of us.
Got challenging, and I really wanted to be like, I'm done. And then I was like, oh, well, I tend to just bail out on myself. And so this was really a way to dedicate myself and prioritize self-care, self-love. And days were significantly better because I started the day off with that.
Yeah. What got better?
So many things.
Yeah? Give us just a little tidbit of what improved in your life.
Communication with clients, parenting, trust with the universe. Just, I think, kindness, compassion, all of it, synchronicities. I was able to see a lot of those things. Some beautiful opportunities unfolded for me. So feels like the next level.
Oh, that is amazing.
I got a lot more self-awareness during it. We'd always been told, yeah, you need to meditate, but never learned or told how to do it. So there was that learning side on me, learning how to meditate and just being able to focus internally and become more aware of myself in that matter. Attitude, energy, just more positive, didn't anger as easily, just overall changes within the family, just more calm and have that peace there.
Of how this landed in my life, because I've encountered probably the 60 days of the most challenging time in my own personal life. And even you saying, I don't think that there could have been a better time for this to land in your life. And it's true. This morning set the tone for the rest of my day, set the tone for me to be able to stay in the eye of the storm instead of being in the storm. Seeing the chaos around me, but being able to make a conscious choice to stand in the center and be in that calm.
It felt like bliss and just this like white soft space that was just peaceful, and it does set the tone. And I the winding energy after the tension, I could definitely feel all that. But I've had more energy to do some of the things that I've been putting off for a long time. So
I know I saw that you are moving towards different business endeavors, that you're doing the things, like you're taking action.
Well, we talked about it, like just that self-confidence and like during each of the chakras, I would say things like with the root, like I'm safe, I'm grounded, right? And so this just cemented in my brain each of the different affirmations after so long that I was like, I can do hard things. Like it's okay to be in uncomfortable spaces. Like that's where growth happens. Just move. And so I did.
Wow. Curious. Let's talk about your dreams. Let's talk about, because we're talking about astral travel.
That's right.
We're talking about, I'm curious as to your experience with that.
The last dream I was telling him that I had, there was like my mom was riding this horse and she'd like fallen off, but then I was underneath this horse. And right after I had this dream, I saw something on Facebook that was like the end of the year of the snake is ending, but we're stepping into the year of the horse. And it was all of the things, like we're stepping into new jobs, new relationships, all these, like, I was like, yes, all of it.
What drew me, like you, is the astral travel. I've talked to people that are more on the spiritual or the psychic side, and one of the things that they've told me is the reason I'm so fatigued during the night or in the morning is I'm traveling while I'm sleeping. And so I wanted to experience that consciously, be able to learn how to do it that way. But as time went on, it became less about that, more about learning about myself and going inside and discovering who I am, the parts of me that have been hidden for whatever reason, and just that inward journey and being intentional about myself, taking that time for me.
Beautiful. So on a scale of 1 to 100, and Gabriel doesn't get to answer this question, just us three. What would you give this on the woo meter? 100 being you couldn't get more woo than this, and 1 being I don't see much woo in this. So what would be your scale?
90.
Ooh, you're into woo stuff. So
I've seen all the episodes, and they're all beautiful in their own way. But
this is pretty woo.
yeah, well, yeah.
Very
It's not
mystical.
something you can explain. I think people have to walk the path.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Eldon?
For me, I've actually been delving more into the spiritual stuff for quite a while. And so I actually score probably a 70 or 75 just
Okay.
because it seems natural in a way. And so it doesn't seem all that woo
Yeah,
when it comes down to it.
yeah.
That's the biggest compliment and honor. It couldn't be a better compliment than that.
That's beautiful.
Really, because it's natural. And I talk about normal and natural versus,
Yeah.
we've normalized a lot of unnatural things. So thank you. That's a beautiful
Yes.
way to say it.
And I'm going to give this also a 90. The reason being is initially going in with the perception that we all have, it's like, you're amazing and you look woo, right? Which is fantastic because you're back to that natural sense and we're not used to that, right? But then once you're on the mat, that's why I say 90 going in, more like 75 going out, right? So I'm gonna give it, for a newbie going into this woo world, I'd give it a 90. All right, as we wrap up this journey, here's what we found in those final moments together. It wasn't easy. Life pulled at us. Eldon faced illness. I went through intense emotions, and Crystal had major shifts. But this practice gave us strength to move through it all. We all noticed vivid dreams, heightened intuition, and this sense of limitless possibility. And now at 100 days in, I can say this practice has changed my life. I may not see the visions I expected, but I have found a deep peace and stillness I never knew before. I see Crystal thriving in ways she never thought possible, and Eldon aligning with his purpose. Maybe that magic carpet ride wasn't what we imagined. It's even more powerful. And with every morning on that mat, we're going deeper into a wisdom that's truly life-changing. Here's to what's still to come.